Okay, are we good to go? Let me know, is audio and video both okay? Are we good to go? All okay? Do write all okay so that I can continue the session. And really sorry for the delay today. All okay. Chalo, let's just start. So in the last class, we had the foundation class 1. And today we are continuing with the foundation class 2. So first of all, let's just start with this is the foundation class 2 for your resolution batch. Today we will be discussing more important terminologies which we have done in the last class similarly. But before that, you can see the dates here. 20th of October, we have Indian economy, Indian financial system paper. Second, we have 26th of October, that is your principles and practices of banking. Third will be 27th, AFM. Fourth will be 9th of November, that is retail banking and wealth management. So these are the important dates we have seen in the last session, last class as well. So let's just start. We have discussed the certain sectors of Indian economy. We have discussed the primary sector, secondary sector, and tertiary sector. Apart from that, we have also discussed here that there are sub-sectors of these three main sectors. Primary sector have 3 components, secondary sector have 4 subsectors, and tertiary sector have 2 subsectors. So that we have discussed in the last session. And as well as we have discussed that there is a sunrise sector which talks about the infancy sector right now, but they have the potential to grow in the future. Those sectors are known as what? Sunrise sector. So till here we have completed in the last class. So now apart from our primary, secondary, tertiary and sunrise sector, we have 2 other sectors that is known as organized and unorganized sector. If I talk about the organized sector is simply a sector which have the job terms and conditions defined. The sector which have defined jobs, terms and conditions, that is known as your what? It is known as your organized sector. If we talk about unorganized sector, if I talk about the unorganized sector is a type of sector where the job terms are not decided, they are not regular, they are not fixed. Let's say, for example, you are a part of organized sector, I am a part of organized sector. So organized sector is simply a type of sector in which we can say there are fixed terms and conditions related to our job. Fixed terms and conditions will be given to us in our job, that is known as organized sector. And an unorganized sector, it do not have a fixed terms and conditions defined in an organization which is providing us job. So simply, if we talk about our jobs, we are a part of organized sector because we have employment terms fixed and regular, and we have assured work. We have assured work. We have guarantee that if we want to leave the job, we have to give the 1 month notice period to the company. And similarly, if company wants to let's say, for example, if company wants to fire us, the company have to give the 1 month notice period. That is your organized sector, because we have a job security here in the organized sector. Our employment terms are fixed and regular and pre-decided. When we are joining the office, when we are joining our work, they will be already defining us that these are the job terms and conditions and these are your role that you have to play for this particular year. That's what is organized sector. If we talk about the unorganized sector, it is a sector which is categorized by small and scattered units which are largely not registered with the government. They are not what? They are not largely registered with the government. Now, if we talk about the acts which govern the organized sector, we have Factories Act, we have Bonus Act, we have PF Act, we have Minimum Wages Act, etc. All the rules and regulations and norms of Government of India will be followed in the organized sector, and the salary will also be provided as per the government's standard. But in unorganized sector, no laws or legislation will be followed here. In unorganized sector, no laws or legislation will be followed. Okay. Now, Government rules have to be followed strictly. They do not follow strictly the rules of government. Remuneration, regular monthly salary will be given, and they will be given as a daily wages salary. Okay, apart from that, we can say job security is there in the organized sector. Workers enjoy the security of employment here. In unorganized sector, there is no job security. Employment is not secure here. The employment is not secure, and people can be asked to leave without any reason. Okay, so very obvious. Let's say if I want to leave the job, I have to give the notice to the company. If company wants to fire me, company have to give me the notice. The same thing is there in the organized sector, but in unorganized there is no job security. They can ask you to leave whenever they want. Okay, now, working hours, there is a fixed working hours, not fixed working hours. Salary of worker as per prescribed by the government data, less than what government have prescribed. Contribution to for provide provident fund by employer will be given. Here it will not be given. Increment in salary once in a while will be given. Here, rarely. When you want, you can provide it. No such kind of duration have been fixed that within 1 year a minimum increment should be given. No such kind of duration have been defined. Now the benefits, if we talk about, employee get add-on benefits like medical facility, pension, leave, travel compensation, etc. will be given to the employee. But here all these facilities will not be provided. And you can see the example. The organized sector have government employees, it have registered industrial workers. They are the part of organized sector. They are what? They are the part of organized sector. If we talk about unorganized sector, examples are what? Shopkeeping, farming, domestic workers are let's say housemaids. They are also a part of unorganized sector. Agricultural laborers are also a part of unorganized sector. We are bankers, teachers, we are having a organized sector job. But the street vendors, the house help, the domestic workers, farming, they all are the part of unorganized sector. So you can see, to our domestic help, there is no criteria given that in 1 year you have to give the increment. There is no criteria have been given to the working hours. There is no criteria have been given to the defined job terms and regular terms of the job. So these are the unorganized sector. Okay, let's say in organized sector we have a defined leaves available. We have a paid leaves available. In 1 year 12 or 18 or some number of leaves will be given, that will be paid leaves to us. But in case of unorganized sector, no such kind of leaves will be provided. Okay, so that's the organized and unorganized sector. Now, next, if we talk about, let me know, organized and unorganized clear to all of you? Is organized and unorganized clear to all of you? Yes, okay. Now, next we have definition of economic plan. When it comes to the definition of economic planning, first of all, what is planning? Planning is a proactive approach we use to achieve any goal or any target or any objective. So it's not like planning will be done by government only. Planning is done by each and every individual. You guys have done planning that you have to clear the JAIIB October paper, so you have to start preparing now. So that's why you have joined the batch early. You have joined the first batch of JAIIB October 2024. So you guys have planned it. Like how many days we have in between? We have a certain festivals, so a certain duration we have to give to our family as well. So that's why we have to start now, so that we will be able to cover syllabus on time, and we will be able to do the revision and will be able to clear the paper. So that's a planning. Every individual does the planning to achieve their goal, to achieve their aim or any objective. The same thing done by the government of India. If we talk about economic planning will be done by the government of the country. That in our case is government of India. When we talk about economic planning simply means taking decisions regarding the major economic questions. When the government take the major economic decisions planning or take the decision regarding that, this is known as your economic planning. Okay, when we talk about economic planning. It means when government takes major economic decisions is called economic planning. It's called economic planning. So whenever the government takes the major economic decision, that is known as your economic planning. Now, what economic planning we are doing to take the economic decision, like what we call as a major economic decisions? What are the major economic decisions? So there are three major economic economic problems that each and every country is facing. Each and every country is facing three economic problems. There are three economic problems. Those are what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. These are the three major economic problems which every country is facing in the economy. Every country, not only in India, but in every country, we are facing this economic problem. Okay, in every country, we are facing this economic problem. Audio is breaking. Is everyone having audio issue? Let me know. Is everyone having the audio issue? If not, then do write all okay. If you are not facing any audio issue, do write all okay. All okay it is. So those who are facing audio issue, please rejoin the session. Those who are facing audio issue, rejoin the session, please. Sure, let's continue. So when we talk about economic problems, there are three major economic problems every country have. That is what to produce, how to produce, and for whom to produce. So when these major economic decisions are taken by the government, that is known as your economic planning. And this decision will be taken by the government. This decision will be taken by whom? This decision will be taken by the government. So whenever the government of the country decides what to produce, how to produce, for whom to produce, that is known as economic planning. These are the major economic decisions which every government have to take. Okay, so that's what we're talking about here in the economic planning. And the economic planning definition have been given by a lot of economists, but in our syllabus, it have been given by Mr. H.D. Dixon. He defines economic planning as what? As making of major economic decisions, what, how much is to be produced and to whom it is to be allocated by the concise decision of a determinate authority on the basis of your comprehensive survey of economic system as a whole. So you can see whatever we have discussed now, like what is economic planning, the same thing he have explained. He said economic planning is what? It is making the major economic decisions, that is what and how much to be produced, also to whom it to be allocated. Like we have seen three questions. What to produce is the first question, how much to produce is the second question, and third, for whom to be produced is the third question. And all these three decisions will be taken by whom? By the determinate authority, by the authority who have been given this right or who have been given this responsibility. Okay, on the basis of what? On the basis of a comprehensive survey of the economic system as what? As whole. So that's what the economic planning is. And if we talk about economic planning, there are two types of economic planning in history which have been used by the different countries. First, we have a national planning. So national planning is actually introduced the first 5-year plan in Soviet Union, that is in Russia mainly. In USSR, they have started the national planning. In USSR, which is right now known as Russia, that country have started the national planning. And in the national planning in the 1928, they have introduced their first 5-year plan. And after seeing it successful for USSR, India also adopted the national planning. And in 1950, we have introduced the Planning Commission, which used to make 5-year plan for our country. Okay, we used to have Planning Commission. Now the Planning Commission have been replaced by the Niti Aayog, but the Planning Commission used to make 5-year plans for our country, and it have made total 12 5-year plans. So we have adopted this way of planning from USSR, that is called as the national planning. Apart from that, we have another type of planning as well, that is known as regional planning. The regional planning have been introduced by USA, in which on the basis of geographical area, they used to plan for their economy. Okay, so the USA started this on the basis of their geographical area. They used to make the plan as per the reason, like what kind of planning will be required in what kind of region. That was the regional planning used to be done by the US. Okay, so there are multiple types of planning: centralized, decentralized, a lot of type of short term, long term, medium term. A lot of types of plannings are there. We have two types of planning, that is your national and regional. National, adopted by India after seeing USSR being successful after having a national planning, that was the 5-year plans. And after that, we also have a regional planning that have been introduced by USA. Okay, if we talk about planning in India, so India adopted the national planning. If we talk about India, in India, we have adopted the national planning. So in 1950, Government of India have established the Planning Commission. And this economic planning task have been given to the Planning Commission. And from the 1951, it started making first 5-year plan. It started making first 5-year plan. And the last 5-year plan was in the year 2012 introduced. That was the 12th 5-year plan. So total 12 5-year plan have been introduced by the Planning Commission. How many plans was there? Total 12 plan was there. That was been created by the Planning Commission. Okay, so Planning Commission used to make plan to define or to develop a particular sector. Like in the first 5-year plan, we have taken as a target that we will develop the agriculture sector. In second 5-year plan, we have taken the target that we will develop our industrial sector. So in every 5-year plans, we used to take a particular sector to be developed. But the issue was that in the 5-year, we used to develop a particular, let's say, sector. Like say in the first 5-year, we have developed agriculture. In the next 5-year plan, we have developed the industrial sector. But we were not capable of developing all the sector together. So that's why the comprehensive development of India have not been seen in any 5-year planning which have been conducted by the Planning Commission. And as per the requirement of countries, Planning Commission was not up to the mark. That's why the Planning Commission have been replaced in 2015 by the Niti Aayog. So Niti Aayog replaced Planning Commission in 2015. Okay, Planning Commission replaced by whom? It is replaced by the Niti Aayog in 2015. So can we say that Niti Aayog is also making a 12 5-year plan? Let me know yes or no. Is Niti Aayog is also doing 5-year planning? Yes or no? Is Niti Aayog also doing the 5-year planning? And everybody is saying no. Okay. Everybody is saying no. Okay, so if we talk about, no, Niti Aayog do not perform the 5-year planning. Niti Aayog is doing its own planning since 2017. Okay, so Niti Aayog have introduced the 15 years vision document. 15 years vision document. Okay, Niti Aayog has given us the 15 years vision document in which it have been defined what target we are taking to develop the economy in the next 15 years. Okay, so 15 years vision document have been taken by the Niti Aayog. Now, to achieve this 15 years target, the 7 years National Development Agenda have been created by Niti Aayog, in which, in the National Development Agenda that I have written as a NDA, in the National Development Agenda, Niti Aayog is making all the schemes, programs, strategies, and all the kind of way by which this 15 years target will be achieved. So 7 years National Development Agenda is the duration in which all the schemes, all the plans, all the strategies will be made to achieve the 15 years vision document target. Okay. Now, after that, it has also introduced the 3 years action plan. It have also introduced the 3 years action plan. Now, what is action plus plan? What we have seen in the planning commission, the major disadvantage of planning commission was that we used to start 5-year planning, and after the 5 years used to end, we used to check that the plan was successful or not. And in the end of 5 year, we used to say that the plan have been unsuccessful. Right? It happens seen in every 5-year plan that after the 5-year duration have been ended, then we used to go and check that the plan have worked or not. And this have done a lot of wastage of time, raw material, funds, everything. So that's why 3 years action plan have been introduced by Niti Aayog, in which in every 3 years the National Development Agenda planning will be done what? The National Development Agenda's planning will be overviewed by the Niti Aayog in every 3 years. This 7 years National Development Agenda's evaluation will be done to find out that the plan is going on as per the decision we have taken or not, or as per what we have thought that this work as economic development. That we are talking about in the case of Niti Aayog. So Niti Aayog have introduced the 15 years vision document, 7 years National Development Agenda, and 3 years action plan. That's what Niti Aayog is doing since 2017 onwards. Okay. Now, so this is what India's economic planning we are talking about. Okay, done. Now, clear till now? Let me know. Till now, whatever we have discussed, is it clear to all of you? Should we move forward? Do write yes or no. Whatever we have discussed, is it clear to all of you? Yes, okay. Yes, this is new batch. This batch started from 28th of June, and this is our second foundation class. Okay, this is a new batch. Okay, clear. Now, next we have objectives of economic planning. Like, what are the objectives of economic planning? First, you can see economic growth. Second, we have poverty alleviation. Third, you can see we have an employment generation. Fourth, we have social justice and reducing the inequalities. Then fifth, we have self-reliant economy, and fourth, we have modernization of the economy. These are the 6 objectives of doing economic planning. So let's discuss one by one. If I'm talking about, let's say if I'm talking about economic growth, what actually the economic growth is? What actually the economic growth is? Economic growth is actually represents us increase in the national output, or I can say economic growth represents us increase in national output of a country. So economic growth means increase in national output of a country, or you can write it like this: increase in economic goods and services. Third, you can also call it like increase in production. So whenever you see there is an increase in number of goods and services produced in the country, then it is your economic growth. So whenever, if you call it a national output, if you call it a economic goods and services, or simply you can say increase in the production of goods and services, all these defines the economic growth, because when the production increases, it increases the GDP of the country. And what is GDP? Gross domestic product. What actually the gross domestic product? The money value of all final goods and services produced within the geographical boundary of a country during a financial year. So within one financial year, whatever production we are doing during a financial year, that production's money value will be counted as a GDP. So if the production is increasing, it means GDP is increasing. And it means if the GDP is increasing, it means there is a growth in the country. So economic planning is done by the country to have the more and more production in the country, to increase their GDP, to increase their economic growth. Okay, so economic growth means increase in the national output of a country, or we can say increase in the economic goods and services of a country, or we can say increase in the production of goods and services in the country. That is known as your economic growth. So the first objective to be done economic planning for is the economic growth. If we talk about the second, that is poverty alleviation. What is poverty? Let me know. What is poverty? Can we say that anyone here in the class, as per you guys, do you think anyone in this class is poor? You can ask answer for yourself. Do you think you are poor? What is poverty? Let me know. May not be. Okay. What about rest? What do you think? What is poverty? Or is anyone here is poor? Low purchasing power. Okay. What about rest? The people who cannot afford the basic necessary. Okay. Done. So when it comes to the poverty, poverty means simply when a person is incapable of fulfilling his or her basic needs. When a person is incapable of fulfilling his or her basic needs because he cannot afford them. So what are the basic needs of a person? Food, shelter, clothes, primary education. These are the basic needs of human being. So when a person is unable to afford food, shelter, clothes, primary education, or any basic necessity, that person is known as poor. And this is known as absolute poverty. So no one in us is the absolute poor, because we are capable of fulfilling our basic needs: food, shelter, clothes, primary education, everything we are capable of affording. So we are not absolute poor, but every one of us is a relative poor. Now what is relative poverty? Relative poverty means when you compare yourself from the other members of society. When you compare yourself from the society and you find that you have a low living standard, and you find that you have a low income group, then you are a poor. Let's say for example, I am earning 10,000 per month. I have seen the another person who is earning 50,000 per month. So comparatively I am poor. Okay, if I am coming office, let's say by taking a public transport, let's say metro or public bus or auto or something, and the other person who is coming to the same office by his or her own car, let's say for example they have BMW, they have Audi, or let's say they have i20, whatever car they have, still when we compare each other, I will be the poor one. Reason, my living standard is low comparative to that person. Reason, my income level is low comparative to that person. So I will be a person who is a relative poor. And everyone in this class is a relative poor, because when we compare ourselves from any other person, we always find that there is some person in the country who earns more than us or who have a better living standard than us. So poverty also defined into two categories: absolute poor and relative poor. So none of us is a absolute poor, but we all are a relative poor. Okay. So what we are trying to do here, we are trying to elevate the poverty. It means what? How we can do that? How we can make sure that poverty elevation will be done? How it's possible? How it is possible to do the poverty elevation? First, by introducing employment programs. We are introducing employment programs. Second, wage programs, like you are creating self-employment programs, or let's say wage program. You have a food distribution programs. Okay. You are providing housing facilities. You are providing housing facilities to the people. So these are the certain kind of schemes or certain kind of programs that help us to make sure that the poverty alleviation will be done. And how many housing facilities should be provided? How many food should be distributed at what price? At what subsidized rate? What wages should be provided to the person to whom we are providing wage employment opportunity? Then in case of self employment, how much loan should be provided to that person that he will be capable of starting his own business? All these are the ways by which we can make sure that the poverty will be reduced or will be eliminated from the country. And this all will be done under the economic planning. So we have PM Awas Yojana, we have National Food Distribution Program or Public Distribution Program. Next, we have a Manrega, which provide wages for employment. We have self-employment RIDP. There are a lot of schemes that provide the loan to the people to start their own business, like the Mudra Yojana. So these are the schemes which all will be introduced in your economic planning. Okay, so this is how the poverty alleviation can be done. Now, the third, we have employment generation. Employment generation, we have seen the self-employment or the wage employment can be provided to the people. Social justice and reduce the inequality. If you see, India is known as the fastest growing economy in the world. India is actually a fastest growing economy in the world. But when it comes to the inequality, India is most unequal country as well. India is the fastest growing economy in the world, but at the same time, India is also the such kind of country which is most unequal. You will find income distribution inequality is there, wealth inequality is there, income inequality is there, gender inequality is there. So that's what we want to reduce or we want to eliminate from our country. Social justice means providing equal opportunity to every person. That's what the social justice is. Like when you are providing wealth distribution, when you are doing wealth distribution, income distribution, you do not discriminate the person as per their gender or any other biased way to provide the services or benefits. So social justice means equal opportunity will be given to everyone, and that will help to reduce the inequalities. Okay, that help to what? That help to reduce the inequality. So this is also one of the objective. Apart from that, self-reliant economy. We want India to become a self-reliant economy or Atmanirbhar economy. That we wanted from first 5 year plan. In the first 5 year plan, first time it have been said that we should be self-reliant economy. We should be a such kind of economy which is self-capable of fulfilling its needs and wants and capable of growing and developing. So that's what we want India to become in the future as well. More and more production, more and more needs should be fulfilled by our own product so that we do not have to be dependent on the other countries for our needs and wants. Then modernization of economy, simply including your technology, introducing more and more technology that will help the economy to grow. That's what we want to introduce in the country. And this is what the modernization of economy we are talking about. Okay, so these are the certain types, or I can say the objectives which is required to be done the economic planning in the country. Okay, so this is what we have talked about today's session. Now in the next class we will be discussing the role of priority sector and MSME. And MSME stands for micro, small, medium enterprises, and PSL, you all know, priority sector lending it is. So from here, we will be continuing in the next class. Okay. So now, those who are watching us on YouTube, this is the information for all of you that we have started the batches from 28th of June. These are the batches which have been started from 28th of June, and you are right now watching the resolution batch IE IFS subject. If you are going for all the 4 subjects, I would suggest go for the Mahapack. It will give you comprehensive batch, revision batch, all the upcoming batches with mini and Maha marathon, topic wise test, full length mock test, ebooks, everything will be available. In resolution batch, you will only find the comprehensive classes, topic wise test, full length mock test, and your ebooks. No revision batches, mini marathon or Maha marathon will be available here. So if you want to enroll, simply use the code Y496. You will get the benefit of additional 1% discount. To enroll, first you have to download the Adda 24/7 application, and after going to the application, simply select the exam category that will be your JAIIB CAIIB. So let's say this is our website. On the website, you have to select the exam category. In the all courses, you can see all courses are written here. Just click on the all courses, select the JAIIB CAIIB, go to the JAIIB October, and you will find all the batches here. So you can see Mahapack have double validity available with the 81% discount, and this is your resolution batch. Under the resolution batch, you can see live classes will be there, test series is there, ebooks is there. When you scroll down this, you will find the study plan available here. You will find the study plan available here. All the 4 subject study plan have been updated. I will show you IEIFS. This is IEIFS on 28th of June. We have started this batch. Okay. This was our first orientation class. Then we have done foundation class 1, and today it was foundation class 2. Now we will be having 5 foundation class and an overview of Indian economy. We will be starting from 8th of July. Okay, from 8th of July, we will be starting an overview of Indian economy. So how to enroll? Simply to enroll, click on the buy now option, enter a code here. That will be Y496 and apply. Once you apply, you will find 80% discount here. 6 months validity, 3,700 something you have to pay here. If you go for Mahapack, this is a Mahapack, the same facilities and additional facilities will be available here. Do check the facility before enrolling. And you have to add a code here that will be your Y496. The same code will apply. And again, you will find 80% discount with 1 year validity, and 5,700 something you have to pay for 1 year validity. It will give you all the batches live going on. Recording will be available, revision batches will be available. Apart from that, whatever new batches we are going to introduce for this season, everything will be available. Okay, from where to download the study plan, I have showed you. In the resolution batch, you can go to the study plan section and you can download from there. Elevation means eliminating. No, ebooks are only available to read in online form. You cannot download it. You cannot take a print of your ebooks. Yes, the schemes and all. This is a foundation class. This is the basic understanding of subject we are creating in these classes. The proper detailed class of your each and every unit we will be starting from 8th of July. Okay, so right now we are having a 5 foundation classes. The recording will be available in your batch. Whatever product you have purchased, just go to the my orders. In my orders, you will find the batch. Click on the batch, then go to the subject, and under the subject name, you will find all the recording of your classes. Okay. So let's end the session here. We'll see you all tomorrow at the same time. And that will be our 3rd foundation class. If you have any doubt, you can ask in the group as well that I have shared yesterday. Okay, if you have any doubt, I have shared the number here. You can drop a message to this number that your all the doubts will be cleared there. Okay, chaliye, take care everyone. See you tomorrow.